Okay, everybody, I'm so excited to be here with Muhammad Usman. You know him not only as the brother of welterweight champ Kamaru Usman, but now you know him even more so as the winner of his heavyweight preliminary match on season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter. So first and foremost, Mo, I want to say congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling right now?
Thank you so much. I feel good. I feel accomplished. I feel like it's the start of my MMA career.
You know, it's one of those things, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because any way you try to get around it, people are going to recognize you as Kamaru Usman's brother. So that being said, how much pressure did you feel entering the tough house with, such big shoes to fill, as Dana White said?
I the pressure. I mean, there's always going to be the pressure there. The pressure has been there since the beginning, since I started fighting MMA. But I channel the pressure. I've played football for a lot of years. I've always been under pressure when it comes to being able to compete and just basically, long story short, just being able to compete at the highest level. Always been under pressure. And with my brother being the champ, I knew that there was going to be a target on my back in the house, but I didn't know that it was going to be, because at the end of the day, it's not the old tough, episodes, and this is a new age. So it's a little bit more respect across the board because everybody's trying to succeed, because it's been done before. So when I saw somebody coming at me how he was, it kind of threw me. It kind of threw me for a loop, because I was like, whoa, like. I was like, it was going to be somebody, and I knew it was going to be after me because of my brother's name, but I didn't think it was going to be to the extreme that he did. But it made me so much better, and I just channeled all of that into getting the victory.
So I want to get to your opponent, Mitchell Sipe, in just a second. But, I'm just curious, you talk about how being Kamaru's brother drives you and it, adds to your competitive spirit. But because he won his season of The Ultimate Fighter and given his huge success in the UFC, will you consider this season, your time on Tough, will you consider it a failure if you do not make it all the way and win the entire thing?
I don't even think about that. I know I'm going to make it all the way and I'm going to win. And that's it. That's the only thing in my head. And that's the only thing that I think about. And I focus all my energy on that. And I don't even think nothing else. This is like I've been telling my coaches and me and my brother talked about it. This is my destiny. And I'm just living in it and just like waking up every day and just living in this thing called my destiny. I don't ask questions. I don't do nothing. All I do is show up, work hard, and God has already given me the victory. So if I do everything He wants me to do, it's done.
I love that answer so much. I love the confidence. I love that you've already started to manifest this experience in this opportunity and this victory for yourself. So that's awesome. I know another motivating factor for you, and a lot of which probably has shaped who you are today. And it's such an unfortunate circumstance, but the death of your 4-year-old son Nash back in 2019, you were able to share that story with viewers on Tough, and we thank you so much for it, because I think the stories behind the fighters are just such a huge reason why we're so compelled to cheer for certain competitors on the show. Being that you had this driving force, something that's been inside of you and pushing you for years now, what were you thinking as you stepped into the octagon to face Mitchell in this preliminary fight?
The number one thing in my head that I was thinking is, we made it, Mo. We made it here, and we're here to do everything that we said we were going to do. I started MMA when I was done with football because I feel like I still had a lot of fight in me. I was very athletic. I was always been athletic playing football. And it's never been about talent for me. And that's how I know I matured as an adult. It's just never been about talent for why I didn't get to certain levels that I supposed to get to. And if somebody else would tell it. So I kind of made peace with that, and I channeled that. And when I had my son, I looked at him and I was like, your dad is not going to be a failure. I wanted him to be able to be proud of me and know that we were special. We were different. Our family name is different. And that was my number one reason for starting to fight and continuing to fight, because I'm going to show him that we made it, And when you started from way back in, you didn't think you would be here now, and just one fight at a time. I mean, one loss at a time, one win at a time, and pain and just for me even still be here is just a testament to what I promised to him, and that I was going to do this and I was going to be the best in the world at it. And I'm going to keep getting better. And that's what I'm going to do. I channel it. I use it as my fuel. I know he's always constantly with me. You know, I know he's always constantly with me. And yeah, I'm just, you know, some days is harder than others, but, you know, we keep trucking, and we know who we are. We know where we're from. We know our family name, and we just show up and we compete.
I love that. That's awesome. I hope you two are having little chats throughout your entire course on the competition. Now I want to get to your opponent, Mitchell. Wow, he was a very easy person to dislike, I will say, from a viewer standpoint. He just would not stop running his mouth, Mo. You know that better than anybody else. The interesting part about all of it is that he said that you two were supposed to fight a few years back, but it never ended up happening because you backed out, and you claim to have known nothing about that. So what happened? What is he talking about?
I can easily clear that up. So this was, I don't even want to, he keeps saying 2-3 years. This has been a while. It's close to 6 years now. Right. When I first started MMA, I don't think a lot of people understand. There's certain people that can go into MMA and not have amateur fights. I didn't have any amateur fights going into MMA. I jumped straight into the water. So I did 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights. And then I guess after my 3rd fight, it was a tournament. It was Tachi Palace fights. It was a tournament that we were supposed to, the winner of the first fights goes into a fight for the belt. But the manager that I had at the time told me, he was like, Tachi Palace, they're not even on Fight Pass. It's a low promotion. Let's go over here to Titan FC where we're on Fight Pass. We have it's a big promotion. And actually, that was my 4th fight. And I went on to fight Dontel Mays. I actually lost to Dontel Mays by a decision win. He won by decision. And I recall Dontel Mays is the same guy that put Mitchell to sleep on the Contender Series. So I left Tachi Palace to go fight a guy that he fought fights after. So I leapfrogged my career because I thought that was the best move for me. I didn't think I'm ditching to fight this guy, or I was afraid of this guy. He wasn't even on my radar. The UFC was on my radar. I was trying to get to the highest level where I can make money and take care of my family. That was all that was on my mind. So we tried to leapfrog me to going into fighting this Dontel Mays guy that was on the cusp of going to the UFC. And he's currently on the UFC roster, actually. Now, and I would love to see him again. But we was on the radar so he was on the radar of the UFC. So my manager was like, go beat this guy, and we're there. So I said, let's go do it. It's a big step for me. And I gambled and I lost. And it put me in a position where it built me up and it helped me be stronger and helped me be a smarter fighter. And I needed that. And so for this guy to sit up there, he just wanted something to run with on the show. And like my brother said, Steven Spielberg couldn't even written it better. Steven Spielberg couldn't even written a better story than me and this guy. So it was amazing to see that he even still held on to that for so long ago and say that I was ducking him and doing all this and that. And I was just like, you know what? We'll settle it in the octagon. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And you did just that. Okay. You gave him reason to shut up. Although I don't know even till this day that Mitchell has shut up. He just would not stop running his mouth. How fired up were you across from him in the octagon as he was, talking crap and also like doing all these crazy motions, didn't even have his hands up half the time because he was, trying to almost like, as Amanda said, play with his food.
Yeah. And I was so focused. It wasn't even I literally channeled everything he was doing into just insane focus. Every time he would do anything, because I knew he was a tough guy. That's one thing nobody can take away from this guy. And anybody that watches it and sees how the fight played out, Mitchell's a tough guy. So I can't just go out there and think I'm just going to just throw crazy punches and this and that, because that's his game. He wants that because he's a counter puncher. So I neutralized him. I made sure every time he tried to even come in, he felt something that he didn't want to feel again. So then that put him at a stalemate. And, and that put me in a position where I could dictate the fight. And basically the guy's a tough guy. He hit me one time that was a heavy punch. So I give all respect to Mitchell. Mitchell's a very tough fighter, but it comes to a point where toughness is not everything in there. We all are tough. We're all big heavyweights. We're tough. You have to have a little bit more than that. And I feel that's where he'll have to develop and get better in his craft. But yeah, he helped me maintain a certain focus that I couldn't even express to you. He was smacking his chest, beating his chest, sticking his tongue out like a dragon. And all I could think about was composure. Keep your composure, keep your hands up, keep your composure, because the one time I bite into that is when he's going to hit me and I'm going to regret it.
100%. Okay, well, good news. You won your preliminary. Now you're headed to the semifinals. Your coach, Juliana Penas, referred to you as main event Muhammad. I know that has to feel good. So what do you think about her giving you that moniker? And do you think this is something that not only will stay with you throughout the tough competition, but you'll also carry over into the UFC?
Yes. It stuck with me because it was literally, it felt natural. You know, everything that I've been doing up to, I went to the Tough House, like I was telling Juliana, everything was happening so natural. I made a couple adjustments in my camp. I switched gyms. I started training with guys that it was an energy thing with me. And I don't know if a lot of fighters, I know how fighters are, how everybody's different. But with me, everything that I do at this point in my life is it's an energy. It's an energy thing. It's chemistry, of course, but it's energy. You could feel when somebody wants to give you their best as a coach. You can feel when somebody wants to give you their best as a teammate. It oozes through me. It oozes through my pores. So I soak all that up and I channel that into what I want to do in the octagon. And Juliana and her coaches, the energy and the confidence they gave me, Coach Wayne, Coach Rick, Coach Mike, you know, and I attest that to Juliana because she brought these guys. But Coach Wayne, the confidence Coach Wayne gave me to go into that fight was it was unbelievable because you could tell these guys really believed in me from their heart, and the energy showed. And it was like, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do this and you're gonna execute because you were built to do it. And yeah, Juliana's an amazing coach. The energy her and her staff put into me was amazing. And I felt like I couldn't lose. And like she said, main event mode, because I was the main event each time I fought. So I'm going to take that into the UFC. And it made me it almost like it was relaxing, you know, with so many eyes on you makes me relax. It's almost like if you threw me in there at first, second fight, it's like, but you throw me in there at the last fight, it's like you're here. Either you show up or you don't. And it put me in a relaxed state. So yeah, I'm main event mode.
Well, that's amazing. And the good news here also is that, you know, you have your first fight under your belt on the competition. Hopefully nothing but smooth sailing from here because, you know, as far as you, your personality, your story, I know a lot of people are rooting for you. So we wish you the best of luck and all the success on Tough and beyond, Mo.
Thank you so much. And I love what you did on that launch, that Tough launch. Me and my brother watched it, and my mom was like, oh, she did a great job. You put the story together.
Tell Mom I say thank you. I appreciate that.
Keep killing it.
A mother's opinion is the most important opinion. So thank you, Mom.
For sure.
All right. Well, we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much, Mo.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.